Alright, Guardians, this is our weekly solo player's guide to the Nightfall. We do this normally every single Wednesday. This week we're doing it on Thursday. And then even later because I just completely forgot to make them. So there's that. But hit subscribe if you're new to the channel because that never happens. But anyways, we're doing this on our Hunter. As far as the challenge card goes, this is Insight Terminus, by the way. We're rocking 75 handicap. I would suggest this actually going a lot higher. It is going to drop your power level down a lot more, but after you kill the boss, there's about 15 to 20 seconds where you're just getting dialogue and your points are steadily decreasing if you're past 18 minutes. And that dropped us, well, we didn't make it, but it dropped us down from like 68,000 to like 56 just in that like 20 seconds. So you'll probably want to bump this up or be a lot faster than I was. We're rocking Void Singe, Grenadier, Extinguish because normally we rock it with Iron. But it was just making that boss just a little, in the ads in the boss fight, just a little too tanky, so Extinguish actually made it a little bit easier. It's less forgiving, but it is easier. If you don't want to Extinguish, I would not go match game just because there's both arc and void shields. So unless you want to bring something arcy with you, well, if you're gonna do match game, bring with you BOREALIS, and then we'll get that in a second. And then Momentum, this is probably the best modifier in my opinion for Nightfalls. Makes it a lot easier in my opinion. As far as setup goes, I rocked my Blast Furnace. Mine's got Feeding Frenzy and Kill Clip. I don't think it has a mod on it. I just got it the other day. It does not. But it's actually a pretty good roll. I like it. We're rocking the Monarch. And then Hammerhead. We're going Orpheus Rig. And then the top tree with Vortex Grenade. So without further ado, like I said, if you want to do something like BOREALIS, that'll also work really well. Because if you're going match game, you can just switch it between kills or elements, and then you get the bonus damage if you break matching shields. So it's also a really good run, or a really good option as opposed to Le Monarch if you don't have that. If you don't have either of those, just something with some range and void. But other than that, let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so I wish this is when the actual timer started, because as you can see we're already 30 seconds into the strike. But anyways, this room is really easy. Just throw a grenade there and it should take out everything in this room. If not, they go down really quickly. Same with this next room. It's just going to be a bunch of... the only thing you have to be careful here is like the 3 or 4 of the Minotaurs. But outside of them, and I guess the Hydras or the Harpies can be a little annoying because they also do void. But for the most part, you should be just fine as long as you stay kind of back. And if you have to, you can just run around the room really quick to get your health back. But like I said, as long as you stay back, you should be okay. Just remember to throw as many grenades as you get. go. And then just throw a grenade here, especially the grenade, between the grenade and the blast from the Minotaur shields should take out those 3 goblins, no problem. And then once everything's dead, just go ahead and keep on running. And in this next hallway, there's just going to be 2 Vex and 2 Cabal fighting. Just take them out real quick. And then just around the corner, there's going to be a whole room filled with Cabal. One being an elite Colossus. So we're just going to kind of take down his shields. Well, first we're going to take down all of these guys first. If you have your super and you have Orpheus rigs, maybe pop it. You should get it back, but maybe hold on to it for the next this first platform area. It just really depends on how comfortable you are with your getting your super back. But just throw a grenade at that guy. He'll tank a lot of that damage if you've thrown it right. And then either Borealis, Monarch, whatever you're using, just take him down. And then we're just going to take these guys out from a distance. Don't forget, if you get low on health, to run around to get your super back, or your health back, if you are running momentum. And I like to just take these guys out kind of leisurely from a distance. That way it's really pretty stress-free. We'll just go ahead and come around this corner back here, take him out, and then we're pretty much just going to do the same thing. We're just going to hide back here with this guy. We're going to throw a grenade, and we're just going to try and do as much damage from here as possible. If you have to, take out your power weapon and take him out, but you do want to do it kind of quickly. We're at 4 minutes right now, so we're doing pretty decent. But between this next room and, or not this next room, but one of the upcoming rooms and then the boss fight also take a pretty good long time. So you really want to speed through these a little bit. Unfortunately, that's not what I did. But that's alright. Like I said, just increase the handicaps, and you should get that 100,000 points, no problem. Once those guys start spawning in, do what you just saw me do. You get your super back pretty much instantly with Orpheus rigs. And then just throw a grenade, take those guys out, really easy. And then just wait, there's one more batch of enemies that'll spawn in. If you don't have a super there, there's going to be 2 waves of, just like what you saw, 2 gladiators and some wild dogs, and then a middle wave of 2 elite incinerators and some wild dogs, or whatever they're called. So just be aware of that. If you have to, run around the room, get away from them, just don't die. But there we go. This is the first room that's going to take a little while. I was trying to kill the wanted enemy, but honestly I think I wasted more time trying to get him out than I should have, and I don't think I even killed him. So I would suggest just kind of make him go, and then just ignore him to the best of your ability. What I would suggest doing, because see, here we go. Here's the start of our career with this guy. But yeah, what I would do is just go ahead and get the boss spawned out. Maybe take your super to these guys, and then run to the back of the room to get this room going. Like, literally don't waste your time on the wanted enemy like I'm doing right now. So once you get everything spawned in, there's going to be a mini boss. I think he's a Centurion. Wasted another grenade. There's a elite Centurion that will spawn in the middle. Clear some of the ads first on these sides of the room. You'll see me do it here in just a second. And then kill the mini boss. Once you pick up that orb, you will get some enemies that spawn in. Go ahead and throw your grenade at them, and just go ahead and slam the ball, and just go for the next group of enemies. That would be my suggestion. And then just do the same thing. And then there will be a second mini boss on the second time that will spawn in. You can ignore him. I did. And then just, put in the orb into the little block, and then actually pop your super kind of in front of the doorway that spawns in. That way you can get whatever remaining Cabal and Vex that are in that area at the same time. With that, you get your super back, and you, with a really good placed grenade and some damage input, you'll take all those guys out in 5 seconds. Alright, as you can see, this is a pretty short Nightfall. Structurally, anyways. We're already at the boss fight. So as soon as you get here, just go ahead and pop on to the platform. And just take out these enemies as far away as possible, because anytime one of them steps into the platform, as you can see, the thing will go red, which means it's not going. It won't go down as far as I know, but you won't do any progress until all the enemies are wiped out of it. But once the boss spawns in, I just go ahead and throw a really well placed grenade and just start doing damage to him. Hold on to your super, especially if you're using tether, because you're gonna want to hold it off until he runs back into the background there where that teleporter is, because as soon as he starts doing that, a bunch of enemies are going to start spawning in, and that's when you want to use your super. That's when you want to throw your grenade and really, like, here he goes. I should have popped my super already, but that's alright. We get most of the ads, not all of them, but that's alright. That's exactly what you want to do right there. And as you can see, we got our super back. Boss is stuck in our tether for a little bit. And then we're just going to run around the room, get our health back, continue to deal damage to the boss. But make sure you're taking out these ads, because they will start piling up on you. So just be very careful. Especially if you're running Extinguish, you want to be very careful. Use these this area by the platforms as cover. Don't get that close to the boss. Don't be as dumb as I am. But just use this back area for cover as much as possible, and be very careful of that flame that is void. It will melt you pretty quick. And if you have to, go invisible and run around. Wait for your health to come back up. Especially if you're just going for completions and not the 100,000 points, there's no real reason to rush this. Which, then again, you're probably just running Void and Heavyweight. That would be a great way to go for a completion modifier. But eventually, I think it's about half health when the boss finally despawns. It's just getting him there. Once he despawns, there is going to be, there he goes, 3 platforms that you have to get. This will be a little difficult if you're solo, in which if you're watching this video, you probably are. What you're going to want to do is clear as many ads as possible, just like before. But if you get overrun, instead of just running around and continuing to work on the one platform, this time what you want to do is hit up a different platform. So like go to the left, go to the right. Like I should be standing on a different platform right now. And that way you can work on the other platforms while one is being occupied by enemies. That way you can have progress going on multiple platforms, if that makes sense. And then just continue to do that. If one gets overrun, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one, and just clear ads from a distance. That's going to be the easiest way to stay alive in this section. Kill enemies from a distance. There we go. And then once you do that, it's pretty much just going to be a repeat of what we just discussed. Running around the room, using your super when the boss is surrounded by enemies, and then throwing as many grenades as possible. Just do as much damage as possible while clearing the room so you're not overcome by enemies. And that's pretty much going to do it for this strike. Like I said, just be aware that you're going to lose a bunch of points if you're not in that safety time bracket. I think it's 14 minutes looking at this at our clock that I started to lose points. And so if you either be faster than I was or bump up the handicap, which will drop your light level, make it even harder. So just keep that aware, keep that in mind as well. And other than that, stay positive, be happy, be healthy, live long and prosper, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and have an amazing week.
feel it. The light is back. We're back. Eyes up, Guardian.